What's going on, guys? This is Brain from Advanced Hockey Advising here, and today we have yet another special interview here, and I think you guys are really going to like this one a lot, get a lot of value out of it. It's an interview with Cooper Lukenda. Now, some of you might have already heard the name. He's actually quite popular here on YouTube, and that's how I kind of reached out to him and got in touch with him. He has quite a successful YouTube channel, a lot of subscribers, a lot of views there, and he's basically a college hockey athlete, and he plays at St. Olaf College, NCAA D3. So I think between that, between his major, what he wants to do, between being a YouTuber kind of on the side here, doing quite well, I think you guys can get a lot of value from his perspective here. And I think you guys will really enjoy this interview. So without further ado, we're going to dive right into it. But before we do, actually, real quick, as always, just a quick reminder, absolutely smash that like button. And if you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell to never miss another video moving forward. All right, that is it, guys. Enough chit chat. Let's get right to it. All right, Cooper, glad to have you on the show. How you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. So I guess we'll hop right into it here. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey through hockey?
Yeah. So my name's Cooper Lukenda. I currently play at St. Olaf College in Minnesota. It's Division III school in the MIAC conference. I started off like any normal Canadian kid, growing up playing hockey as a little kid in my town. I'm from Sault Ste. Marie. So I played youth hockey growing up there. And then when I was like 12 or so, my family moved to Wisconsin. I played a year or two of youth hockey there in Wisconsin before going to Shattuck St. Mary's in Minnesota. A lot of people know Shattuck St. Mary's is a place that Sidney Crosby went, and it's pretty famous for some other people. So I went there, and after Shattuck, I actually headed up back home to Lake Superior State University. It's a Division I school in northern Michigan, right across the border of where I was from. So it was pretty close to home. I played there for a year and a half. I didn't play that much. My first year, I tore my MCL, and I was really young at the time. Looking back, maybe it was a little too early for me. So I actually left Lake State and went to juniors and did the whole junior hockey loop. I played a year in the CCHL in Kempville, and then a year in the North American League in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. And my brother had played at St. Olaf and really enjoyed it. And so I transferred here and have been here since.
Yeah. And how you liking it right now at St. Olaf?
I like it a lot. It's a lot more fun than I was having in the past. I really found my love for hockey again my last year at juniors, so it's been a blast.
Awesome, man. And why don't we dive in here? Let's compare, the junior hockey experience versus the college hockey experience. Like what's similar, what's different, and which one you're enjoying a little bit more?
Yeah, I think when I left high school, I was thought I was super ready for college hockey. I didn't think there'd be that much of a difference, but it turns out there's a huge difference. There's a huge jump. Junior hockey really developed me more than I would have thought as just a human. It just makes you live on your own and do things that you wouldn't think you have to do, or deal with people you might not like for the first time in your life, or as a real adult on your own. So on the hockey side of things, it was, obviously a lot of fun. It was hard. You're not doing anything all day, it feels like, except for hockey, and that's your main focus. So if hockey's not going well, it can be really, detrimental for your your health and things like that. Whereas in college, it's hard on its own way, because you're busy with so many other things, right? You got school, you got your social life, and you're trying to build for your future, not just play hockey anymore. Right. But I think I enjoy that a lot more, just being busy all the time. It kind of keeps your mind off it, and then when you do get down to the rink, it's more enjoyable in that sense.
Yeah, 100%. I felt the same way too. In junior, it's and we made a video called Junior Hockey Traps, and that was the main one. It's because you have almost nothing to do throughout the day, and that lack of structure is really tough, right?
Yeah, too much time.
Yeah, too much time on your hands. And then you get to college, and it's a huge slap in the face, right? It's you have no time anymore, and you gotta be good at managing your time. So on that note, so what made you, since you had you're busy with schoolwork, you're busy with hockey, what made you start your YouTube channel and kind of dive into that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of common. When we got sent home due to COVID and everyone was in quarantine, I was stuck at my parents' house, and there was this guy that I would always watch his videos, Devontae Friga. He was also a Division III athlete. He played basketball at Mount Union in Ohio, and I always watched his videos. And especially during quarantine, I was just watching these videos, and I felt like I had nothing to do again, and I was seeking something to fill my time. And I just thought one night, I think I could do this. And I asked my girlfriend at the time, I was like, do you think my life's like interesting? And she's like, eh, I think people would be curious about it. Like it's generally interesting. And it just kind of started like that. And I made the first one, and I like that chase of like filming something and then having to edit something and then like posting it and seeing how it did. I really like that chase. So I just kept doing it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I remember too, like when we first, debated on starting it or not, it kind of started out like, what are we going to talk about? Stuff like that. And then we just kind of got into it, and then you get a bit of momentum and you want to do it more and more. And it's pretty cool experience. And to be honest, there's not, unless it's changed, but since I last checked, like there's not that many college hockey YouTubers out there.
There's really not. It's funny, like there's not many hockey YouTubers in general. I mean, it's starting to become more popular, but for the guys like generally my age, we all are in contact with each other and know each other decently well, like over the internet, I guess, because there's just so few of us.
Yeah, no, I agree too. And I think it's interesting because hockey is like a pretty complex world. Once you hit junior and go into college, that whole journey is pretty complicated. I think it's a good thing that more guys are showing their day-to-day life. More guys are talking about it because it is complex. I remember I would have loved to have this stuff back when I was going through it. So
for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think even I remember when I was like 14 and my brother was going off to junior, like I thought I knew what it was and I had no clue. Like it just, you learn so much so quick.
Yeah, 100%. So with like, YouTube, the classes, hockey, what do you do to like balance your time? What's your strategy?
Yeah, that's a good question. I just always moving, I think is the good answer to that. I mean, there's some late nights, there's some early mornings, but it's not impossible. Like it's hard obviously, but it's not impossible. Everyone I think at my school or like in the same situation as me is doing multiple different things. No one's just a student and a hockey player here. Most people are getting internships or have jobs or doing like what I do, things like that. So you just have to kind of find the time. It's not impossible.
Yeah, I know for sure. It's not easy. Like you said, late nights, early mornings and stuff. But I think if you stay consistent and you wake up every day, you work hard, you get at it, I think it's definitely doable for sure.
And even like an hour or two a day is all it takes really. And also I find like I like doing it. So I'm a big believer that if you like doing something, you'll find the time to do it. And that's just something that I have to find the time to do.
No, 100%. If it's a priority for you, you'll find the time for sure. You'll create that time. And then next question here I got for you is, so if you had top 3 things that you had to recommend to people, to players that are about to go through the junior hockey process and want to play college hockey one day, what would those 3 things be for those guys? Some good advice here.
Yeah, the first one that's popping in my mind is mental toughness. That's a big one. I think that going through juniors in college, you're going to run into coaches that don't like you for no reason that you can't figure out. You're going to run into teammates that you don't like or don't like you don't get along with. You'll have billets that may be great or may be tough. Your classes may go the wrong way. You never know. But I think that's just one thing that everyone can always improve on is being mentally tough through those situations. It's really hard. I think that's been the biggest struggle for me in college, just especially going to college, leaving, ups and downs of just regular seasons. That's been the toughest part, for sure. So being mentally tough is a huge one. Second one, just like your attitude every day. No one likes coming to the rink and seeing the guy that is unhappy every day at the rink. Everyone loves the guy that's got a smile on their face. So that's a huge one in the locker room. And those guys that are always bringing like good energy down to the rink. Like in the depths of February, in the middle of the season, it gets tough. So coming down to the rink with a smile on your face is huge. And lastly, just I guess working hard. Like coaches notice. It's one thing that people, you think you work hard, but everyone works hard nowadays. So putting in that hard work every day, whether it's just getting on the ice early or just having that focus every drill, every practice, it shows a lot.
For sure. I think those are 3 great points. I think for sure mental toughness. I think mindset honestly is the biggest thing in sports. For sure. Yeah. You need the skill, that's for sure. But then after that, if you don't have the mindset, if you don't have the mental toughness, it's pretty hard to get through because hockey or anything in life is going to be challenging at times,
Yeah. So I was just talking to someone about that recently. I think like goaltending at this level, like everyone's got the skill, the ability, like everyone can do it. There's so many good goalies out there, but it's just like the guys that can battle through mentally are the ones that really shine through.
Especially in nets, man. Like in nets, it's, it can be so up or down, if you make like me being a forward, if I make a mistake, the D's got my back and the goalie's got my back. If a goalie makes a mistake, it's not it's pretty obvious, So it's definitely tougher for sure. So mental toughness is huge. Absolutely. And I agree too with your other points. Attitude. I think that's a big one too. Nobody really wants a Debbie Downer coming in every day. People want those guys that uplift people and that make the team better for sure. So I think, 100%. And another question I got for you is what's the biggest challenge that you dealt with in either junior or college, if you don't mind me asking, and kind of talk about how you got over it, like what you did, process and everything.
It's a good question because I feel like every hockey player deals with a lot, and sometimes like the biggest challenges aren't necessarily like the ones that seem so big. But I think for me, so I tore my MCL when I was at Lake State, and I think that was probably the biggest challenge when I came back from that injury. It wasn't the injury itself. I mean, it was tough being injured and not being around my teammates and my friends. But when I came back from that injury, I was kind of realizing with like the pieces that had shuffled in and stuff that I didn't think I was fitting anymore. Having that like honest conversation with myself that this wasn't where I wanted to be anymore. And this wasn't what I wanted to do anymore for hockey or for my life, was like the hardest decision and conversation with my parents and myself and my friends at the time that I ever had to make. Like I was happy. I loved my roommates. I loved going to school close to home. But going down to the rink every day, I just kind of lost that passion. I didn't have fun on the ice. I wasn't enjoying it. So that was a really tough conversation I had. And when I actually left and went to juniors, I thought this is like my breakthrough point and this is going to be awesome. And I think I lost my like first 8 games straight when I got to juniors. And and I was like, oh man, like, did I just make the worst decision ever? I was like, maybe I should have stayed. But no, things got a lot better and it started turning up, and that was like a really tough battle. What helped me get through it for that point? I think just like, I don't know, we talk about here about, I think it's that Navy quote, like the only way out is through. And I think that's kind of what I did. I just kind of realized like, I don't want to be done with hockey. Like this is supposed to be fun. I like doing this. And I just pushed through that and just said like, I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to keep working hard. And eventually things, turned up.
No, absolutely. I think that the biggest things I'm taking from this is that you knew that you had a goal, right? And you knew why you want to do it. You knew that you loved playing hockey. And from there you had that, which is, I think, the first component. And the second one is that you just pushed through. Like there was a lot of stuff going on, right? It was very difficult, but you didn't stop. A lot of guys I've seen, they stop when that adversity hits. So I think if you know why and you push through, I think you'll be golden. So
and having that conversation with yourself, like that was the biggest step. I think just being honest with yourself. Like if you want to be done with hockey, that's fine. But if you're not ready to be done and then you're giving up on yourself, that can be a tough one.
Yeah, 100%. Totally agree. Well, I think that wraps it up for my questions here. Do you have any questions for us at all that you want to ask, or?
Off the top of my head, I guess I'm just curious, like what your guys' biggest advice is for kids going into college hockey, or what like you guys want to see kids doing, or I guess,
That's a good question. I would say, like you said, I don't want to say the same thing you said, but I think mental toughness, I'm very big on that, on mindset and mental toughness. That's very important. But I kind of want to come up with something a little bit more original here and not just copy you. I say finding a good mentor really helps. I wish I would have had someone kind of help me, go through junior, go through college and stuff like that. Just someone I could call every once in a while, really would have helped, because they really help guide you in the right direction. And especially not just a mentor, but someone who's done it before, it's kind of been through it. I think that helps out a lot.
Yeah, I think it takes a village. I think that's a really good way to put it, because it's not, you can't do it on your own. I mean, you see those guys like playing college hockey or in the NHL, and you think like, wow, like they did all this on their own, but no, not even close. Like it takes a lot to get someone there.
No, 100%. I totally agree. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate your time, and we'll be in touch.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Thank you.
See you later.
All right, that wraps it up for the interview here. Hopefully you guys got some value out of this. If you did, if you like this video and you haven't already, consider hitting that like button, destroy that like button. It really helps out the channel. And if you're new here, or if you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button and notification bell so you never miss another video moving forward. And if you have any questions for us, anything at all that you want to ask us, feel free to drop a comment down below or email us at info@ahadvising.com and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. All right, guys, that is it. Thanks you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video and we'll catch you on that next one.